Welcome to episode 3 of the Self Trust Frequency. Oh, thank you so much for being here. So, if you want to catch up with episode 1 and 2, it will give you a little more background. But in essence, we are talking about the fact that every soul that comes to Earth has a mission that you chose before you came here. And the point of this mission is ultimate soul evolution. And you get to choose how much you take on in this life, how much your soul evolves. And this starts to shift our way of thinking because it begins to show us that everything in our life is happening for us, even the obstacles and heartache, as difficult as that is. Because Earth School is one of the most difficult places because the spirit world does not have discord or negative emotions or disagreements or grief. And so souls come to earth so that they can learn these experiences and experience them from different perspectives. And so we trade places and roles in our lifetimes with different people in our soul family. So when you came to earth, you pick this life, you and your guides and ascended masters, you have a vision for all of the opportunities your soul has to grow in this lifetime. And so, fast forward, here you are. Oh my gosh, if this is true and it's coming from near death experiences, um, firsthand accounts, as well as past life regressions when people have regressed into the spirit world. So here you are in this life, in this present moment, in this human body. It's like, what? Okay, so we're waking up to this, and here you are. So, what was the point of you choosing this life? And part of it can just be here on earth, but I have a glimmer, I have a feeling. It's what made me want to create this podcast that if you're listening, if you found me, I feel like the purpose of why I was called to create this is because I need to get the message out there. It's like the star seeds, the healers, the angelic frequency people. I'm getting the message we need to be reminded that you came here for a reason. And Earth can really drag us down into the frequency, and we have to constantly remind ourselves we came here for a reason. Because if you're listening, I feel that you have a big soul mission, and your soul mission is difficult because you're creating something that doesn't yet exist here on earth. It maybe building on the gifts of others and concepts and healing that other people have introduced, but you are here because you have a unique medicine, a unique frequency, a unique way spirit and angels and galactic beings want to move through you. And so just imagine for a second that you are a soul or a galactic being or an angelic being who incarnated on earth for a reason. And if you're ready, the message is to wake up to that reason. And it's so exciting. It makes my heart flutter. And it's hard to remember sometimes in the 3D because sometimes the people around us aren't quote unquote woken up. They aren't interested. And so that's what I want to talk about today is that there are people who are just operating in the 3D, and that's okay. I've heard a past life regressionist talk about the fact that 95% of most souls are earthbound souls. They continue to incarnate on earth. They might be physically strong, they might do well at the game of earth. And then the interdimensional beings, the angelic beings, are this remaining 5% that are just here to bring in new frequencies as well as learn about Earth, but mostly to share healing, science, art, creativity, music, your unique sensitive gifts. You may have heard my cat in the background. And so earthbound souls as well have and so earthbound souls as well, of course, have gifts, but they feel a little bit more in place, whereas that 5% feel more out of place. And I have a feeling that's who I'm speaking to here. I feel like if you're an earthbound soul, you don't really need this podcast as much. And the earthbound souls, the ascended earthbound souls who are so wise, are very grounding and very guiding. But there's, I think, galactic souls and angelic souls, interdimensional souls that are here to produce a certain frequency on earth, to see things in a different way, and those are the people who I want to talk to because I feel allegiance with that group and I feel like I'm in that group. And it's really about not feeling isolated. I feel like that's the message I'm getting is you are not alone. And I can almost like feel your frequency right now. I feel our collective frequency. So what inspired me to make this podcast was the message I was getting, which is that you need to keep going because what you're creating doesn't exist yet. And so it's this idea that when you look around in your 3D day to day earth life, what you see is not validation that you're on the right path. It's like what you're creating, you're not finding the evidence of it in your day to day life. You need to keep the vision and find your own frequency because your purpose is to come here and emit that frequency. So it's not so much that you're going to find that frequency everywhere around you. You are here like a beacon to share your frequency. And so there's a lot of isolation in that. There's a lot of remembering in that. Who am I? What am I here to share? What are my gifts? And getting in touch with your own unique frequency. And there's so much self trust in that. But if you believe in spirit, if you're spiritual, if you believe in God, you need to believe in yourself because if you believe that spirit moves through you and God moves through you and there's the Holy Spirit and there's energy and chi and that's you believe in yourself, you're one and the same. So there's no place for self-doubt. There's no place for really shame or needing any validation at all because spirit's moving through you. And I have a feeling that every day you're working on healing so that spirit can move through you even more. And that's your greatest healing path that you're on. How can you open the channel for more to come through you? So, it's hard because your gifts won't always be validated and encouraged in 3D because Earth needs you to create it. So I really encourage you to trust your vision, and I'll include this more in further episodes, things that I've begun to do. But I really believe in starting to practice journeying meditations, spirit guide meditations, ascended master meditations, higher self, future self. One thing I'll share before I close this episode is that there it's been really interesting being an energy worker, and when I do Reiki or chakra work with people, the the things that I have seen are that usually people have a clear vision within them that's really beautiful and unique, like it's not cookie cutter at all. So I'll be doing Reiki on someone, and then at the end of the session, they'll kind of talk about like what they really want. And at the beginning of the session, it was more about like stress and everything in their day to day life and just kind of that burden on the nervous system. And it's like once we've cleared energy and they've gotten in touch with their energy field, because we're clearing out anything that's not your frequency, anything outdated. We're bringing in the chi to raise the frequency. It's like things become clearer and they realize they have a vision. And it's usually something they want to do, but they've been too afraid to take the leap. And sometimes the fear is financial. Sometimes the fear is the visibility of kind of coming out as spiritual or whatever they want to do. And I experienced that too. So it's really interesting because I believe that the more energy work and meditation we do, the more it clears so that the clear soul vision is more apparent. And then the work just becomes about reducing shame and obstacles to that vision. I've had, there's a really interesting chakra pathway like meditation that I do with clients. You start at the crown. It's called the manifesting downward pathway. Start at the crown, going through all the chakras. So you pull in at the crown what you want to feel more of in your life, whether you have a concrete vision or just what you want to feel more of. So imagine those as balls of energy. You're pulling them into your crown. So if you want to feel more freedom and um, peace and serenity and love, you imagine whatever those are as balls of energy, and you imagine the color pulling them into your crown. And then from your third eye, you see it outward. You see yourself like a movie. You see yourself from the third person perspective. You see yourself experiencing some of those emotions. You come down to your throat and maybe you have a conversation saying what you want to feel more of, or you say it like it's already done. The heart, you come through and you feel what it's like to feel those emotions. You're bringing them more in the body. The solar plexus, you imagine steps coming out of the solar plexus area. What steps would be clear to you to take to feel more of that? And usually there's like very concrete action people feel. It the body knows, the soul knows within the body. And so we're listening to the codes in the body once the thinking mind is not the one fully in control. Come down to the sacral. What would it be like if we adapted? What if something happened with that vision that didn't go right? We would just be patient and move around it. So the sacral kind of brings us adaptability of like, there's nothing wrong with the vision. If things don't go to plan, if someone laughs at it, if whatever, it's like it builds that self trust. It's the adaptability. It's like, oh, I can move with this however it goes. I'll eventually get there and I'll work with whatever comes my way, but it's that reed in the wind. And then we'll come down to the root and it's like now instead of seeing it from the third person perspective, we're seeing it from the lived experience. We're seeing it from as though we're in our bodies seeing this picture of what we want. And I've had clients in this moment in the root chakra. I mean, I've been so impressed with the concrete steps that come out of the solar plexus. But in the root chakra, when people get there, it usually locks in and people are able to see a scene and they say, I see a house and I'm here and I have this sort of life and this is what I'm doing. And I've had two people describe like houses and lives. And for one person, it like really took her by surprise. Like this is not really something I'd seen before. Like this house and this community and kids and this thing. And it was like, this is surprising. Like I don't know where this vision has really come from, but it's very clear. And this can also happen to you in future self meditations. And somebody else had the same experience with a house, but she's like, you know what? I've been dreaming about this for so long, but I've never told anyone about it. And it still felt very like impossible. And I'm kind of the worst person to tell these things to because my number like one reaction, like my gut reaction is like, go for it, go for this vision immediately. Let this be your major blueprint to your life. And so that has become my philosophy is that when we are doing body-based mindfulness and subconscious work, the things that come out whenever you have a vision that comes to you, that is it because it's guiding you. I feel so strongly about this. And so I also feel that when you are a soul and maybe your goal is to evolve as a soul as much in this lifetime as possible, for me, that is following that blueprint, that vision. And that's so exciting to me. I love it. I love people who are actually taking the strides to those visions because oftentimes it doesn't make sense. It doesn't already exist. And that's what I talk about is what you're creating doesn't exist yet because you're moving towards something that is a vision from within that wants to come through you. And so you need to be your own reference point. You can't reference like, well, what would this person think about it? Or like you can't think about all the constraints. This is my encouragement for you to live a life that terrifies and excites you because this vision lives within you. And that's one of the mysteries to me is like, where do these future self like visions come from? The future self meditation, maybe you've done them before, but it's about first, you imagine yourself in a nice place, like a soul sanctuary, beautiful house, or a place in nature that's perfectly built for you. You imagine a pathway going out, and then there's a soul self in the path at the end of the path, and you suddenly see them. And usually it's helpful to think about this person, the version of you a year from now, and they have wonderful news to share with you. They want to tell you about their life that's feeling so aligned, so free, so joyful, so exciting and they give you downloads of what this is. So, this is what I offer my clients, and it's just, I'll record more of these and put them on YouTube. But to me, it's these things that are uncovering the soul blueprint. And so I'll just close with saying the Delulu trend, I'm very in line with it because I think you know what it is you need to do and what you want to do. And it's time to start giving yourself permission because your current state of affairs in your life isn't necessarily going to be giving you the go ahead or the permission. The permission comes from within. And I think this is all part of the soul growth is building up the strength of the soul to start plowing through the realities of earth and making things happen. Aligned action and acting on the intuition only makes it stronger and a more magnetic of a pull. And all of these actions build upon themselves and one of the things that people report in past life regressions that have been in the spirit world, so I think this is in Brian Weiss or Michael Newton's books. I think it's Brian Weiss talking about the fact that when we incarnate on earth, we don't bring all of our soul with us. Part of our soul remains in the spirit world, and really advanced souls may even incarnate two different lives at the same time on earth. So, in times where I've really been struggling with with my health journey, with trying to kind of get out of a hole of emotion and my life not going on track, when I deepened my spiritual practice and was on has have like beginning my spiritual journey and I learned about that, I would actually ask my guides and my higher self and God, the spirit world, I would ask if I could have a little bit more of my soul energy. I felt like I didn't have access to enough of it. And so I started to pray that I was like negotiating. It was like, I need more. of my soul energy wherever it is. I need more on earth. And I feel very different now. I feel very capable. I think that all of these prayers help, and I think that if you're feeling like really stuck and like you just don't really know how that soul mission's going to happen, start talking to your guides. Ask them, say, is it possible to have more soul juice, more soul energy to make this happen? More downloads. There's so many different tools you can use. Archangel Chamiel is about clearing your path. So you could say, I call in the perfect healing angel at this time, or I call in Archangel Chamiel, please clear my path. Help me find my golden path. Please help clear obstacles, make things clear. Give me just the next step. Even if it's like I don't know how to get to the other side of the river, just give me one stepping stone. And this just deepens your spiritual connection as well. So, thank you so much for being here. Please leave comments and follow me if you'd like to be updated when the episodes drop each week. I would love to hear how this resonates for you, what you're working on, and if there's any particular topic from what I've mentioned or meditation that you really want me to tackle on here. And yeah, I just would love to know the souls that are really picking up what I'm putting down. We're vibing on the same frequency at this moment, and I very much appreciate you. Take care.